Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, we got a market with a lot of volatility still, right? It's trying to figure out what's going to happen with the tariffs, trying to figure out if the dollar's going to crash. Man, that dollar it was free falling last week, right? I mean, it's crazy out there. Now, a lot of people get confused when I talk about we're going to be going into a bear market. We're not in a bear market yet. A lot of people think we hit a bear market because we came down 20%. That's technically not a bear market. We really haven't had a bear market for 16 years. But Mike, in 2020, we came down and we hit the bear market. We were in a bear market in 2020 during the pandemic for about 2 weeks. Now, what defines a bear market? Technically, they say 20%, but that's just a number, right? You come down 21% and bounce up. Are you in a bear market? I don't think so. What I define a bear market is when you come down below the 200-week moving average. And we've only done that one time in the last 16 years, and we were down below it for approximately 2 weeks. That was not a bear market. That was a big correction during the pandemic. A bear market lasts a couple of years on average. Now, a bull market, that lasts on average about 5 years. This has been a 16-year bull market. Longest in history, right? We've never seen anything like it before. We'll never see anything like it again. But my guess is because you've had such a long bull market, you're probably going to have a long extended bear market, probably longer than 2 years. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. My call still is that they're going to push this up one more time. But we're not even down to the 200-week moving average. So no, we're not in a bear market yet. They're going to push this up one more time, going to do it with the printing of money. Just my take. Now let's get over and talk about this real estate stuff. Oh, it's just a wild, wild west out there in real estate land. Now we got to I'll quickly catch you up. I know that a lot of you have already watched some of this stuff before and you know about it. But anyways, back in August, we took away the MLS, right? Realtors cannot advertise for a buyer broker commission. We used to be able to advertise that we'd pay 3% if they brought us the buyer. Can't do that anymore. NAR got $400 million fine. I don't know where that money went, but it's gone, right? $400 million, they got the fine, right? Okay, so NAR, National Association of Realtors, got a little upset, right? And they took away the one-day listing rule. One-day listing rule, we used to have to take a listing and have it on the MLS within 1 day after we take the listing. We couldn't hold that as a pocket listing, as a private listing, as a secret listing. We had to put it out there in public knowledge on the MLS. Well, they took that rule away. Now we can have private listings. We can have secret listings. We can have, it's just, we try to double end the commission, right? We try to get the commission of the seller and the commission of the buyer. Instead of the old 3% I was making, now they're willing to pay me 6%, 3% aside. I get the whole thing, right? If I can find the buyer when I get that seller. And a lot of these big firms like Compass Realty, right? They call it secret listings. You want to see our secret listings? Here, sign the buyer agreement and I'll show you these secret listings. They're not available. They're not on the MLS. They're not on Zillow. Now, here's the thing. So Zillow now comes out. This is where it gets real exciting, right? Okay, Zillow comes out and they're going to ban any privately marketed homes, any secret listings. They're going to ban them from Zillow. Now, I think that's just Zillow shooting itself in the foot, but Zillow's done that before. I mean, remember the time they went into they were buying homes, right, trying to flip them. They only lost, I think it was like $10 billion doing it, right? I mean, they lost a lot of money buying homes and trying to flip them. Why'd they lose all the money? Well, they were offering what their Zillow estimate was. That Zillow's got a word for that. It slips my mind. But anyways, the Zillow estimate is what they were buying the homes at. Well, those estimates weren't accurate. They were all over the road. So they were getting these homes handed to them, and they weren't the prime homes. They weren't the top of the line homes. No, these were were homes where the termites were holding hands. These were homes where the house is off of the foundation, but Zillow was the buyer, right? And they'd buy these homes, and then they'd have to sell them for 30, 40% less than they bought them for. They tried to make it up on volume, right, by doing so many of them, but once they lost several $billion, they threw up their hands, said, we're getting out of the business, we're going to leave that end to Open Door. They're still partners with Open Door. You can still get a cash offer, I think, on the Zillow site. But here's the thing. How does Zillow really make most of their money? From us dumb realtors, right? Now, here's the old system, right? We would go out, take a listing, right? And we'd put it on the MLS. And the MLS would hand it over to Zillow. Here's Zillow. You can have it for free. Zillow would put it up on their website. People would contact Zillow, and then they would sell the leads back to the realtor, right? I mean, many realtors still paying it, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month just to get the leads off of Zillow. Zillow cleans up on the realtor. So they kind of want to take the realtor side, but they don't want these private listings. Right now, Compass has 1 out of every 3 listing is a secret listing. That's what Compass calls them. Coldwell Banker calls it take an exclusive look. These are only exclusive to us. You won't find them on Zillow. So Zillow's pissed off about this, right? Because they feel they're not going to get the prime listings, and they're correct, right? I mean, they took away the MLS, so now Coldwell Banker has its MLS, Keller Williams has its MLS, Compass has its MLS, and they're trying to cut Zillow out of the picture. Okay, so Zillow is a little bit upset about this, and they say, you're banned. You're banned for the life of that listing. If you don't put it on Zillow right away and put it on the MLS right away, we're going to ban you. Well, you want to see some lawsuits fly? I mean, they're talking about taking off the FSBO. I mean, isn't a FSBO a privately marketed home? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so you think the court system's going to protect the for sale by owner? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Zillow doesn't understand that. The lawsuits are going to be coming their way because starting next month, they're going to ban privately marketed homes. I mean, that's like discrimination, in my opinion. That's like just saying I'm only going to market to the Asian people. No, you can't do that. Look, you got to get that home on Zillow if you want it on Zillow. If your seller doesn't want it on Zillow, you don't have to put it on there, right? It's a seller's home. It's their choice. Zillow can't demand that you put it on it, but yet they think they have that power. Maybe they do. We'll see how this all plays out. I mean, the court system, they already messed up the MLS for all of us, right? So now we're getting the lower prices on the houses, taking longer to sell. We're becoming like a third world country. But that's just the direction the real estate market's heading because of all these court battles that's out there. Look, I'm a real estate broker, full disclosure, and I've made my living at real estate. I love real estate. People think I hate real estate. Why would I hate real estate? I love real estate. It's just a bad time to buy right now. It's not the best time. It's very unaffordable. You're going to see price discovery when this happens. Now, it's interesting. FHA loans, I mean, they're the ones where you put the 3% down and the government's on the hook for them. Well, the government being me and you, the taxpayer. If that person doesn't pay, we got to pay. You realize we've been paying on some of these people 5, 6 years, and we still haven't foreclosed on them. We keep making the payment for them. It's our neck that's out there. Our neck's getting chopped off, but we can't do anything because, of course, Biden on the last day in office signed it. No foreclosures to 2026 in those FHA properties. All right, well, that happens, right? But here's the thing. There's rampant fraud going on in the FHA. Now, this doesn't really bother me, but it is fascinating. 1 out of every 3 homes at our FHA, they're not owner-occupied. See, an FHA loan has to be owner-occupied, meaning you have to move into the property. Now, when I was an investor, when I was flipping houses, it was great. You'd go out there and they'd ask you questions like, tell Mike, where do you plan to live after you buy this home? Well, I plan to move into the home. Well, what are you going to do with your house? Oh, I'm going to rent my nice house out and I'm going to move into this crappy house. That's my plan. And so they would give me this low interest rate from the FHA, right? Isn't that crazy? Well, 1 out of every 3 FHA loans is non-owner occupied. You realize some of these people own 10, 20 homes, but yet they're going to the FHA so they can get those low interest rates, government guaranteed loans, 3% down, and then they can make it a rental. They can put it on Airbnb. Well, now those Airbnb businesses are crashing. They can't get the cash flow, right? So is there going to be anyone thrown in jail for doing this? I don't think so. Never has been, right? Nobody ever came and knocked on the door to see if tall Mike really lived in that crappy house. Now, they came and knocked on the door of the nice house, they might have found tall Mike. But it's very common. But 1 out of 3 on FHA loans are fraudulent. They're fraudulent. Okay, so back to this Zillow thing. This is just fascinates me. I get all excited when I talk about real estate. Why? Because I know about it. I know how funny it is. It really is funny when you think about it. Okay, so here's what Compass is doing. Compass and Zillow are going head to head in the fight. There's going to be lawsuits. There's going to be battles. But here's what Compass does. All right, so they take the listing, right? Okay, they take the listing, and it's their secret listing file, right? Who can sell a secret listing? Only a Compass real estate agent. It's like their own private MLS. Never makes it onto Zillow. You don't get to see it unless you go in and sign your life away saying that you will pay Compass for any house that you buy, even if it's not that one. Okay, well, so you don't get to see that house. But the other Compass agents get to see that house. So they have buyers they're working with. And some of these get sold and Compass gets the whole 6%. They get both sides of the commission. That's step one, right? And that lasts about 30 days. Now, if they can't get it sold in 30 days, well, they do. They put a coming soon sign on. They put the sign for sale, and then they say coming soon. Okay, that's another 30 days where they try to market it exclusively as a pocket listing. It's coming soon, right? I got one on my street. It's been coming soon for over 6 months now. Still haven't got sold though. Kind of funny. But anyways, that's what Compass does. Puts the coming soon on. Now that's step 2. That's phase 2, right? They do it in a 3-phase program. Step 1, only Compass agents. Step 2, put a sign on with coming soon so people driving by can call up Compass and go, hey, that's not on the MLS yet. Yeah, it's coming soon. Would you like to see it now? Well, can I buy it now? Of course you can buy it now. Well, I thought it was coming soon. Oh, it is coming soon to the MLS. MLS is phase 3. That's only for the homes that don't sell in phase 1 or phase 2. Then Compass puts them on the MLS, and then Zillow gets a crack at. Well, Zillow's upset about this. They think the seller doesn't have a right to decide where their homes are. So they ban that listing for the life of the listing. Now, isn't that funny? I don't even know how they know that it's a private listing, either with Keller Williams, which, Keller Williams, what do they call it? Their private collection, Coldwell Banker, their exclusive look homes, or Compass secret listings. Well, how does Zillow know it was in those private systems? They don't know, right? But they're going to ban them next month. It starts. You just watch the lawsuits flow in. Man, this is going to get fun. It gets exciting, right? It gets real exciting. But we got people out there. We got 6 million homes that are delinquent right now. I know we can't foreclose on until next year, but next year, can you imagine 2 million, 3 million homes hitting the inventory that's already going like this? Man, I tell you, I don't know if I were going to get to going. I'd get to going right now because things are changing in real estate land. Things are changing with the fraud. Maybe they come after it with the fraud, right? They come after those Airbnb people that have 8 FHA loans because their computers aren't set up to detect that stuff. Can you imagine having 8 homes that are FHA loans? I mean, you're supposed to be living in each one. How do you run from house to house to get there before they check on you? Look, at some people might actually get in trouble on this. Nobody ever has yet. Nobody cares, right? I mean, as long as they keep the payment up, once the payment goes into default, they might care. They go, hey, you had 8 FHA loans at the same time. How did you live in them all? You see, it's a question that's got to be asked, but our government, they don't really follow up on stuff like this. So much fraud in the real estate business, but the government is the one that created the bubble in the first place by buying $3 trillion worth of mortgages, by having Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guaranteeing 85% of the mortgages are guaranteed by me and you. We don't have that kind of money. Well, if things go south, it's going to get ugly real fast. But here's the thing. They're taking Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. They're taking them private. Maybe we don't have to guarantee them anymore. I don't really know how that's going to work out. If you take them private, does the government still guarantee those mortgages? I don't think they do. I think the real estate market's changing. I think it's changing in a bad way. Now, here's why. I think that mortgage rates are going to start going up. You take Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae private, you're going to get the interest rate going higher, right? Because they're no longer guaranteed by the government. I know we're only about 7% right now, but it's high as 8%, been as low as 2.8%. Isn't that where you got your mortgage? But here's the thing. We're going to be going up, not down. We're going to be going 8, 9, 10%. But my Mike the Donald's a real estate guy. He wants those rates lowered, and he's going to get them lowered. The Fed's going to come in, emergency rate cuts down to zero. I believe that 100%. This stock market starts crashing. Fed's going to jump in there and lower the rates to zero. But what's the long end of the curve going to do? They're going to go up, and that's where your mortgages is going to be 8, 10, 12, 14%. What's that going to do to your house value? It ain't going to be pretty. I think Zillow is crashed the real estate market. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm Tall Mike. You like this stuff? Give me the thumbs up. Punch the subscribe button. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy the day. Bye-bye now.